guys, so I thought I'd take you through the New Zealand trip, speaking to over 1,400 students over 2 weeks. Let's go. So I put up on my Instagram story, send me a message or send me a question that you had about this trip, because I want you guys to hopefully get something out of this video where it gives you the confidence to go out there, give everything a go, and maybe potentially do cool things in the public speaking sphere. I'll start it off. So the first question was by Sarah, who asked, how did the trip all come about? So perfect way to start it. The trip all came about me interviewing Taj Papari, which I'll put a little picture of him right here. We did a podcast together and I was very energetic, very enthusiastic when I was doing it. Little did I know they were the exact characteristics that he was looking for, classroom coaches. So he gave me an opportunity to do some casual work for him, just a few little, take a little break. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Few inches later.
Hallelujah. Anyway, yeah, I was doing some... Watch your profanity.
Watch your profanity.
I started. Hallelujah. Okay, so anyway, back to the story. I was doing some casual classroom work with Taj. Probably did like 3 or 5 gigs. He basically asked me, did I want to do this New Zealand trip? Obviously, all the green lights were going.
Green light.
Like, why not? I was getting paid to do this. I was also improving my public speaking skills. I was understanding how to work with young kids. Just so many valuable lessons. It was almost like a university in action for me. Like, I'm treating the next 4 to 5 years of my life as my little Dyls University. That was definitely one awesome assignment. So that's my way of looking at it. That's how it came about. Always giving value to Taj, and then eventually offered me this great opportunity. It's all right having a great network, but how do you keep watering that? Like, how do you keep that relationship going and not just let it die off in the distance? Because then you can have an amazing network, but how do you keep those relationships going? So that's how it all came about. Next, funnily enough, was Taj man himself. He said, what kid blew you away the most? So the kid that blew me away the most was this young 13-year-old kid who started his own podcast. I think he's got about 2 episodes out, which is just amazing. The fact that he's 13 years old and can pick up that, hey, podcasting is starting to become a trend, and I want to start my own little podcast talking about what I love, which is just so awesome. He had a goal of getting to 100,000 subscribers, and I told him, mate, if you just don't let anyone tell you that this is stupid, or don't let anyone tell you that you should stop, keep doing this for 5 years, and who knows what can happen. I guarantee you're gonna get to 100,000 subscribers. I see it happening. I'll put the link in below, and you can go check out his amazing podcast. Double question from Taj. Geez, mate, you're putting me under the pump here. How did you engage large groups of kids repeatedly? So it's a really good question. I think it varied. So there was year 7 students, year 8, year 9, year 10, year 11, even year 13, which I did not know about New Zealand. I didn't know they went up to year 13, which was another cool thing I learned on the trip. How did I engage large groups of kids repeatedly? Okay, so I engaged them by really just getting to their level. So almost being like, when I was in school, what made me want to listen to someone who just, turned up to my school like, what do you think you're doing type thing? What I'd do is I'd build up a little bit of rapport with the kids before I actually spoke. So I'd go in, they'd all be sitting down, and I'd just have a little quick chat to a couple of them, and really just, be casual and not come off as a standoffish, like I'm some type of, superhero or, authoritative figure. I think if you can get to their level and just speak to them as what they would want to interpret. So try and make it really fun and engaging. So what I'd do is I'd go to one side of the room, like get them all energized, and then walk over to the other, like, how you going? And then also, I think one thing I realized is that in any school setting, there's a group of alphas. Well, the people who are very loud, the people who necessarily want to say silly comments, and
nun head. What did the nun do when she was in the office by herself? What? A fart.
I'll put my hand up. I was probably one of those back in school. I'd always be trying to say a cheeky comment. You just gotta go straight to them. So when you've got their trust, everyone thinks, oh, okay, the alphas trust these guys. Yeah, that was my whole unique view at it, and I know my opinion is gonna be very different to others, but yeah, that's how I looked at it. Next question by Greg, the owner of Body Science. I actually just did podcast with him. So I'll put the link below and you can go listen to that if you want to find out a bit more about my story. I open up a lot in that podcast, speak very truthfully, actually say a few interesting things. What did you get most out of your first international gig? So what I got most out of the first international gig is that public speaking is a numbers game. The more you do it, the more you can slowly refine your craft, the more you can become more confident, and that's at the end of the day what you want. So I think what I get most out of the trip, it was definitely just public speaking is a game of numbers. The more you do it, the more confident you become with it, and the more you can work with your crowd. And one defining moment for me was when at the very last presentation, all the kids was kind of talking while I was speaking, and what I did was I stopped and paused. All the kids were like, "Ooh, he's actually stopped speaking. I think that means we should stop speaking." And then they actually stopped speaking, which was really cool.
Don't mean to interrupt.
That's so good. There's Julian in the background, Chief Life Cycle. Check him out.
Cheers, Lance, mate. It's the weekend now, guys. Get on the quarterceps.
Get on the quarties. As boss will tell you, get on the quarties. Anyway, tune in next time. Who knows what the next video will be, but get excited. You.
Is that fucking,
We're done.
Is that killing you, that sanding?
Yeah, I've stopped like 5 times.